Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app, or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
In a completely wild weekend, CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, was fired by the board of directors for no one really knows why. All that they said was, that they lost confidence in his ability to lead, which is crazy considering, he brought this company as a co-founder with a $0 valuation to almost a $90 billion valuation in their most recent round of funding. I think it's probably around $80 billion, which now that is completely on the rocks. No one knows if they're even going to get close to that because of everything that's happened. Then, of course, the next day, they announced that they might be bringing him back after a huge backlash from the employees, all saying that they're going to, quit or walk away if Sam Altman does not come back as their CEO. He gets completely replaced. We now have the former CEO of Twitch, who's now been brought on as the interim CEO, which is interesting because they had another interim CEO. So now this is their second interim CEO that is now going to be running the place. Sam Altman gets a job over at Microsoft running the AI platform there. Over, I think around 700 of the OpenAI employees have all signed an open letter to the board saying if they don't resign and bring Sam Altman back as the CEO, that they are all going to quit. So 700 of the 770 employees are saying this. This is absolutely crazy, and no one knows exactly where this is going or what the future of AI is. So today on the show, I'm going to be breaking down all of this, explaining everything that's happening and some of the implications that I think that not a lot of people are thinking about or talking about that is coming down the pipe for OpenAI because of all of this with Sam Altman being replaced. The first thing is whether you like it or not, OpenAI is a completely different company now. The leadership has completely changed. The company has completely changed. The CEO is gone. The board of directors is on shaky ground, probably all going to get replaced after this massive coup. All of the employees are threatening to quit or walk away. This is a different company. This really is going to be a different company in a number of days. The second thing that I think is really interesting is that investors have literally put billions of dollars into OpenAI, and all of them are sitting there left wondering what the heck just happened. Of course, Microsoft is, the one that seems to have pulled off ahead because they literally, before market close, the news broke that Sam got fired or removed as CEO, and Microsoft's stocks went down 2%. They were starting to tank. Market closes, which of course freezes the trading, and literally Microsoft CEO gets the whole thing put back together with Sam, bringing Sam in at Microsoft and leading the charge there before market open on Monday, meaning this morning the stock price recovered, went back up 2%, and so it's flying flat. People aren't saying this is the end of Microsoft, but really that would have been a insane weekend for him as he's trying to negotiate and figuring out what the heck is going on. This was a company, right? Microsoft invested $10 billion into OpenAI, and of course effectively owns 50% of it. But now what it looks like is going on, because all of the employees say they're going to quit from OpenAI and join Sam on his next venture, Sam and Greg. It looks like Microsoft may have just acqui-hired all of OpenAI, an $80 billion company valued at $1 billion in their latest round of funding that they were going to do, and they're getting them all for free. They're just walking over. This is absolutely insane. And so I think investor lawsuits are going to be coming crazy into this space. That's something that we need to prepare ourselves for. The third thing here is that right now the company is going to be split. There's a lot of employees that are leaving to follow Sam, but also a lot are going over to other big tech companies. And the reason why this is interesting is because recently I broke the news that OpenAI was paying top data and AI scientists from Google and other top firms $5 to $10 million a year. A lot of that was in stock options and shares in the company to come over. Now, of course, the stock options and shares, those are going to be worth nothing like what they used to be, right? Because they had this big, huge secondary market share sale they were going to do at an $80 billion valuation. They're going to sell a ton of shares. Now that the CEO's gone, the board's on shaky ground, all of the employees are leaving, there's no way they're getting that valuation. If they could get even half that valuation, I think they would be doing pretty good. But of course, none of that is happening. And so I think that just the shares that they issued to big players to come over and work at their company. First off, all the people are quitting anyways. But even if they weren't, like, the shares are not worth the $5 to $10 million that they offered them before. So people are going to be leaving and going to other companies. The reason why I think this is important is because right now we have a phase where Google, recently it leaked that Google, who's been training for Google Gemini, which is supposed to be the big, huge, GPT-4 challenger. It's like, oh, this is going to make whatever OpenAI has look tiny. So they were supposed to launch it this quarter, and Google had, they're working with a bunch of other companies that are going to be using it essentially and leveraging it. And they just told those partner companies, hey, sorry, you're actually not going to be getting it till Q1 of next year. So the first 3 months of next year. And the thing is, like, they're doing this because, number one, they couldn't. Maybe they could get their thing just as good as GPT-4, but OpenAI was already training GPT-5 and already ready for the next version. So if they're just catching up, OpenAI was going to launch the next thing, kill them. There's the only way they can actually release something is if they're better than OpenAI, and currently it was not better. That's what the leaks were coming from the inside. So I bring all of this up because if right now you have the entire company imploding, the rate of development at OpenAI is going to completely come to a halt. And so all of these companies are going to speed ahead. All of their employees, and it's not just that, like, the employees are doing nothing. It's also that the employees are going to other companies. So everyone that OpenAI just had to fight for months and months to get to come and work at their company from Google, they're going back to Google. They're going to Meta. They're going to Amazon. They're going to AWS. They're all leaving. And those other companies are going to be the ones that are benefiting and being able to absolutely scale up their AI to surpass OpenAI. I mean, that's probably what will happen, unfortunately. I love OpenAI. I think it's a great company. This isn't looking good for them. The other thing that I want to talk about is that there is going to be a major fight for control of the company that is just going to be ongoing. So governance changes, all sorts of issues, all the lawsuits are going to play out, and you're not going to, I doubt in the future, you're going to have this board that's able to completely upend the company anymore. They've learned their lesson, hopefully, and they're trying to avoid this. The other thing that I want to talk about is that developers now are less likely to build on OpenAI unless OpenAI can give them some sort of assurance that the pace of product iteration is going to be, like, solid, that it's not going to just completely fall through the cracks. Like, everyone is quitting right now. Everyone is leaving. Their CEO that was kind of the visionary that pushed out ChatGPT, right? Like, remember, Sam Altman, everyone was like, no, this isn't ready to be a product. This isn't ready to be a thing. And he's like, no, we have to launch. This was last year. And he forced them to get out ChatGPT, which, of course, was a smashing success and led them to, like, everything they were able to accomplish this year, all the money that they were able to raise, all of the talent they were able to attract, all of the users that they gained, everything good happened because of that decision Sam Altman had to push out ChatGPT earlier this year when others said, like, slow down, it's not ready. And so they weren't even expecting it to go viral like it did. So all this being said, I think developers right now and anyone building tools on top of OpenAI are seriously concerned that there's going to be issues here, that this technology is not going to be developed very fast, that there's going to be like outages and all that kind of stuff that OpenAI was already struggling with, but they were struggling with because the demand was so strong. All of a sudden, developers are going to be concerned, and they're going to be asking themselves, should I be going over to Anthropic's Claude instead? Should I be using Inflection's Pi instead? Should I be using Midjourney instead of DALL-E 3? Like, should I be using 11 Labs or Well Said Labs or any of these other audio editor, these AI voices instead of what OpenAI has? Because essentially, the team is getting hollowed out and gutted. And so it doesn't give them a lot of confidence. What I would like to bring up is, at a time like this when you're seeing the weakness of one company. For those that know, I'm working on an AI platform called AI Box, which is no-code AI app builder and marketplace. And from the very beginning of this software product that I'm working on, people were saying, hey, well, why don't you just build it? So essentially people can use OpenAI tools. You can probably get the whole thing done a lot quicker if you're just worrying about one company. And you can build it out. And from the very beginning, we pushed back very strong and said, no, like we envision a world where there's going to be thousands of AI models that are very good at doing very specific things. We're never going to put our eggs in one basket. And furthermore, developers need to ensure that whatever they're building is model agnostic, meaning if you build a tool using ChatGPT, you should have the ability to swap out ChatGPT for Claude or any other model you need, because inevitably these models, some of them get better, some of them, are surpassing others, and you always want to be able to have the top of the line tool. So we're building a platform that allows people to very quickly, no code, anyone can build these tools. You can go and build tools that very quickly, if there's a major issue like OpenAI here that has a massive collapse or there's a quality issue, you can just swap it out for another AI model on the platform, and we help make that a very, very simple process. Now, for anyone that's interested in building, you can get on the waitlist at AIbox.ai for this platform, or if you're interested, we just launched a crowdfunding round on Republic. We've raised $300,000 in the last 3 weeks, so you can go to republic.com/AI-box. I'll leave the links in the description for all of that. But in any case, I just think it's very, very important for developers to have confidence in your company, for developers to have the ability to swap out the AI tools that they use in order to make sure that a big issue like this doesn't arise. This is going to be absolutely interesting to see how this all plays out. If OpenAI continues to see these struggles, if they're able to fix this, their CEO is saying, hey, we have a plan to reunite the company. I think this is going to be very incredibly difficult right now when they have 700 of 770 employees signing an open letter saying they're going to quit unless they bring Sam Altman back. Sam Altman is not coming back. So I think that this is a watershed moment for OpenAI and for AI in general, and a massive learning lesson for a lot of people. I'll continue to follow the story and keep you up to date on everything that is going on with OpenAI and AI's industry.